Hi folks, welcome to my video. This is my first video on YouTube, and what this is just Premier League predictions. So as you can see at the top there, I have Liverpool as champions. Now I support Liverpool every year. I go for Liverpool winning. I'm confident in my team. I'm confident in my manager. At the end of the day, the winner takes it all. Yeah. So the reason why I think Liverpool are going to win the league this year is down to a few things. Mainly really good transfers. I think what we all saw last season from Liverpool is that for the first maybe 2/3 of the season, we were really solid, really consistent. Even at the very start, we didn't concede a goal for quite a while, and we done really well. Back end of the season, our fullbacks kind of fell apart. Not really their fault. They're running to the ground, and Andy Robertson's getting older, and Trent's mind was in a much warmer place. Let's be honest. No one likes the rain, and he's away there to participate in the New Age Galacticos, or at least he thinks that, because I think that's Liverpool. Look at the likes of Kirkez, Frimpong, Connor Bradley still here, Andy Robertson, the two defenders, Van Dijk, Kanate, Alisson in goal, now Mamardashvili. Midfield, McAllister, Gravenberch, Szoboszlai. We've got Wirtz, Curtis Jones. Still got Harvey Elliott. We've got Endo. What a guy. Mo Salah on the right, Gakpo on the left, and up front, Ekitike. Now, I think the transfers have been really, really good, and I think since we won the league by 10 points, I think it's safe to say that we would still be favourites, even if we didn't get Ekitike. If we didn't sign Wirtz, then perhaps we wouldn't be favourites, but we would still be up there considering how well we done last season. But I think Wirtz is real talent out there. Winning the Bundesliga. Okay, people say it's not great compared to the Prem, but at the same time, he wasn't playing for Bayern Munich, and he managed to win it. So I think that's a pretty good thing. But also, another reason what I think Liverpool are going to win is our manager's tactics and the changes he makes at halftime really fix previous issues with Jurgen Klopp, where I think Jurgen Klopp was great at substitutes, but it wasn't as if the tactics of the game changed. And obviously, Jurgen Klopp's a legend. Wouldn't diss him at all. But Arne Slot he's more willing to change things. He's not afraid of some sort of philosophical stubbornness where you're just gonna stick to the same thing all the time. Arne Slot does what he needs to win the game, essentially. And to move off that, we've got Arsenal, don't we? So I'll show you the 2-5 here, and you're gonna look at Spurs and you're gonna be like, why are they there? I'll explain in a second. But Arsenal, second place. Very good transfers. Still kind of lacking in that left wing position. Essentially, from Arteta's first season to now, I think he's done a really good job. But I think last season he really departed from what he was doing in the previous seasons tactically. And people do things for different reasons. I don't buy the excuse, quote unquote, that some fans are giving Arteta, as in players weren't available, so he had to change his tactics to match that. That's that's it's not really like, yes, you can change in-game tactics, but over the entire season, playing a certain way where you're not as offensively sound as you are defensively. Now, defensively, they were great, um, but going forward, they just lacked that little bit of cutting edge. And I think Gyökeres coming in, if they choose to build around him up there, along with Saka, fantastic. Another player I'd like to shout out is Norgard, Christian Norgard. Um, that's an unbelievably underrated signing. The fact that people are just either ignoring it or saying it's terrible or he's not great. Man wins aerial duels. He'll fight for your team. You know, he's a proper bastard, and you're gonna need that in games. You know, you're gonna have games where Zubimendi's Spanish ways are too soft for the Premier League. You know, not aggressive enough. You know, and Norgard gives you that. So I think that's good. You know, they still get Declan Rice. You know, fantastic player. Defensively, I mean, they don't really need to add defensively. Goalkeeper's great. Anyway, I think Arsenal do pretty well for themselves, get second. They might even win an FA Cup, League Cup. Don't think they'll win the Champions League because there's PSG, there's Liverpool, there's Barcelona. I don't really think there's any other team that, you know, stands above every other team. I think Arsenal would be in that next category of teams. You know, Man City, Bayern Munich, probably Napoli, Inter Milan. Oh, well, they're not called Inter Milan, they're Internazionale. But anyway, moving on to Man City, and I'll treat these next two quite similarly. Man City and Chelsea. Man City had a really bad season last season, but with Rodri coming back, they didn't spend too long in the Club World Cup, so they still have a little bit of rest to do. Rodri back to full fitness, a couple new players, new faces to shake up the squad a bit, because I think that's what they really needed. You know, I think Foden will really benefit from Cherki being there and challenging. My one worry is defensively, Man City. I know they were out without Rodri, but defensively, Man City were all over the place last season. I mean, one injury is not an excuse for the entire defence to fall apart, and that's why I'm gonna, you know, put a hot take here and say Ruben Diaz is one of the most overrated defenders in Premier League history. You know, he's been touted as one of the best, alongside Van Dijk a couple of seasons ago, but I have not seen anything in the past 2 seasons from Ruben Diaz to suggest he is up there. You know, you've got Gabriel and Saliba at Arsenal. I mean, okay, maybe the rest of the league defense is not good, but I do think Van de Ven and Romero are a better pairing than Ruben Diaz plus anyone else. You know, so it's a hard one to say, really, between Man City and Chelsea for third. I think Man City, because they have Erling Haaland, because they have Marmoush, because they're going to have Rodri, Aït-Nouri as well, which is a departure from the typical play centre back at left back Pep mantra, I guess. I believe Kyle Walker's went to Burnley as well. So they're probably looking for someone to play right back. They had Mateus Nunes, I believe his name is. He was playing right back for them. Nah, I can't continue, I'm telling you. Other than that, you know, we can move on to Chelsea. Man City are still a good team. This will make it difficult, but they are vulnerable defensively. And even with Rodri back, I don't know what way Rodri comes back. If it's like slowly, you know, he slowly gets introduced game after game. You know, he's a sub for 15 minutes, sub for 30 minutes, sub for a second half, and then he plays 60 minutes and gets subbed off. Then maybe he can play a full 90. I don't know if that's the way they're gonna go about it. But one player does not fix that team. Now it could just be a blip. Could be they got tired of winning, and you know, fair play. They won all those titles. They deserved them. You know, the play. You know, people say about the 115 charges, but okay, what's related to the charges, if they are found guilty, is that it is kind of a financial doping. You know, the sponsorships and all that, right? But at the same time, it's the players and the manager that win the trophies. So I don't think that really changes too much my view of Man City. You know, they're a decently sized club. They've got all the funding. They've got the players. I do think they need to revamp their centre backs, because John Stones, when is he ever fit? And like I said, Ruben Diaz, you know, I'm not a football expert, alright? I do think he is overrated. But someone has to look at that and tell me, you know, they got to change something there defensively. The amount of counter-attacks they get caught on, unbelievable. But on to Chelsea, similar problem. Goalkeeper, defenders. Their left back, right back, Reece James and Cucurella, left back. They're pretty good. I wouldn't change those. Centre backs, they need someone experienced in there, alongside either Levi Colwill or Trevor Chalobah. But midfield, really good. The forward line's one of those things where they've got Cole Palmer. It is the Palmer team. Palmer and Caicedo. They are the players that carry that team. The other players are just facilitating that. And I think João Pedro, he comes in and he changes that slightly if he plays. And I think that's really good for him. Not much to say with Chelsea. Dan, they should flip it, like, oh my days, buy a goalkeeper. Don't buy 6 average goalkeepers and then loan 3 of them out and then sell 2 the next season. That's just silly. On to Tottenham. Thomas Frank. This is a dark horse, okay? There's no excuses for where they finished last season. 17th. Okay, they won the Europa League. Fair play. They beat Man United. Yeah. Spurs has a good defence. They have good attacking players, especially with Mohamed Kudus. I think honestly, I don't think they make 5th because of their players being that great. I think they make 5th because their manager and also the other teams around them that they would be competing for that position are not as good as they have been in previous seasons. For instance, Newcastle are going to probably lose Isak, and they're going to have to fight to replace him. But anyway, I'm going to stop the video there for now. I'll make another video on the rest. Okay? Enjoy. Thank you.